to try to suppress our determination to achieve liberation. Like Angela Davis said, it's built into the system.
Nowadays I can't believe what's going on in front of me. I don't wanna watch TV and find another casualty. I don't wanna read the news. My heart's already black and blue. I'm putting on my combat boots, 'cause I got an attitude. We're like soldiers forced to fight a war. What the hell? I can't take it anymore. 'Cause for so long we've been patient, now we're done. And don't you even ask me, when did I become such an angry black woman?
Peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper, the host of this program, known here on social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty Angel Snub Nub 7. I am your soul brother, number one. We would like to welcome you to this spontaneous broadcast. And I was thinking about it anyway, but I received a text or email from our brother, the myth detector, and he wanted to come on here also. So I guess great minds think alike. So I wanted to... matter of fact, let me welcome our brother to the platform. I want to welcome our brother, the myth detector. Are you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. Peace and peace. How's the body?
Fine. Hold on a second here. Okay. All right. I wanted to make a response video, basically, to our conversation that we had with our panel yesterday. And also, I'm pretty sure that's what the myth detector wanted to make a response and a reply, an add on to what we talked about yesterday. And if the myth detector is ready to roll, then we're going to go ahead and start the conversation off with what our brother has to bring to us today. So with no further ado, I bring on to us our brother, the myth detector.
All right, yeah. How's everybody doing? So yeah, I'm glad. Really, so after we had the discussion yesterday, you remember we was having some audio problems at the beginning, and when I actually listened to it, like the what I said in the beginning, they kept going in and out. So I don't even think really y'all could hear that good, because I couldn't. Voice kept going in and out in the beginning. So really just want to talk about that a little bit more, and just like you said, just maybe respond to a few things.
Okay.
So you had asked a question. It was like, if I'm not mistaken, what would happen to the black man if the white man fell in America? Was that right?
Yes, that's it.
So yeah, so I went into the whole thing about, if the white man fall, we fall, and about how the cartels would take over, and they backed about China and all these other people who would come in who are worse than the white man.
Yeah.
And the other brother with the orange beard, I forgot his name.
That's Brother Palmato.
I felt like we kind of was going back. Yeah, we were going back and forth. I felt like he was kind of talking nonsense. He was talking about a one-on-one fight with Mexicans, and I was telling him, like, no, we talking about war. It's not going to be a one-on-one fight. And he was talking about all we needed was the power of the melanin, and I was like, that type of thinking, that's somebody who will lead you to death. That's somebody who will lead his followers into death. You up against the cartel in China who got unlimited weaponry and resources, and you don't have nothing because you just broke away from the white man. Exactly. And America's failing, and you saying that you're gonna win with the power of melanin. And then I at that point I was just like, I'm finished. See, I type of thinking that's foolish thinking, and I wasn't really trying to be too disrespectful.
Yes.
Foolish comments like that on a serious topic. Because what it boils down to, if, like, I feel like if the white man falls in America, the black man falls, because we have a symbiotic relationship with the white man, whether you want to acknowledge that or not. That's how it's always been.
Yes.
We get many of our resources from them, because technically you can say that we are them. America in general, whether you're white, black, or this and that, when you go into a foreign country, they don't see white American or black American, where they see it, but you're still all American. I've had the luxury of like traveling and stuff like that. So we get overseas, we get what's called what we would consider a white man's privilege overseas, which is really American privilege. We don't get overseas, we don't get treated like how African immigrants do or people from other countries. When you are a black American and you go overseas, you get the red carpet American treatment, which is basically a white man treatment. That's how they see us. They see us as just by American, by default, they see us as white men. Whether we want to choose to believe it or not, well, I'm sure, like you said, we already know that, like, the genetics of most black people in America, we are already 15% white. Majority of us are already 15% white. We already know that from slavery. So whether you want to acknowledge that or not, that's just what it is. And whether we want to, another thing, whether we want to admit or not, is that since we've been here in America, since we have 15% of their genetics, and just being here culturally wise, we have picked up some characteristics. A lot of people would say, oh, well, the white man, they go wherever they go, they conquer. Well, black people do that too when they leave out the country. Look what happened in Liberia. When black people went to Liberia, black Americans went to Liberia, they took over. They subjugated the native people of Liberia and took over. The same thing in Uganda right now. A lot of the black Americans that's going over there, they taking over the business. And the same thing. So to them, we are conquerors. Just like how they say the white man is, so by default. That's what I mean when I said that black people in America, we have a symbiotic relationship with the white man here. So if they fall, we fall too. And I feel like, well, of course, on the panel yesterday, the other brother, Denzel, he said the same thing, and Common Sense said the same thing too. So the three of us basically agreed. But yeah, that was it. Like, if the white man falls, I don't know why, for some reason, some people, some of these super pro black people, they feel like if the white man falls, that means that gives us free reign to take over. No. If the white man falls, the cartels from South America, who already run South America, and damn near half of Texas, they will step up to take over America. Because the fastest growing and highest population is the Hispanic population. We already got open borders. Those would be the first people to step up and take over. And they're backed by China. They have unlimited weaponry, supply, and people to trade with. How in the hell are black people going to go to war with that? Who do we have to trade with? I mean, in the scenario that you gave, America is falling. And the pro-blacks don't want to be part of the white man, so we alone in a country that's fallen. How in the hell are we going to go to war with the cartel who's backed by China or the Middle Eastern? Because a lot of the people, they think that the white man is so bad. Well, I can guarantee you, the people who will come, like you said, after the white man, which would be the Hispanics, the Middle Eastern man, the Russians, the Chinese, are worse than the white man. You'll wish that you were still under the white man once they come. And that was basically on that subject all I was trying to get through, but we was having some audio problems. I don't really think everybody could hear that.
Well, those who wanted to hear, they heard. Those who don't want to hear, they wasn't going to hear it anyway. you know how that goes.
Yeah, and the other brother who kept talking about if the white man falls, we'll get back to farming and agriculture. Farming and agriculture now, and there ain't nothing wrong with growing your own crops, but you gotta really think logical. Now, this brother trying to take us back to some damn Stone Age. We in 2024. He think that we just gonna be some peaceful, loving people and just sharecropping and plant all day. and we just gonna live scot-free, taking us back to the Stone Age. You know what happens to societies of farmers? They usually get conquered by people with higher technology. So say for instance, the white man did fall and we have free reign, and now, hey, we just have our own land to be farmers. And then what? What's going to protect us from the next group of people with higher technology from coming in and conquering us? Every society in all human history that have just been peasant farmers have been conquered and subjugated by larger warlike groups. This is just how the human species is. And it's a stupid ideology. We're just going farm and live happily ever after. No, it'll only be a matter of time before another group with more technology that wants to conquer us just come in and take the farmland from us. What are we gonna do? We don't have nobody to trade with. We don't have no military. We don't have a government. You gotta have all of these things. And what else was I about to say?
Take your time.
So you
gotta
have so you gotta have these things. So while instead of trying to take us back to the Stone Age and thinking we just need to farm and that's gonna be it, no, you gotta have more than that. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a black town or an all-black run town. That's good. We need that. As a matter of fact, we could go more into it that we actually kind of have black run towns now, like
yes, we do.
Atlanta, Detroit, Memphis. Yeah, Atlanta, Detroit, Memphis.
East St. Louis.
If you look at those cities, East St. Louis, all of the politicians are black.
Yes.
Most of the police force is black. These are really black-run towns, so you can't say that we don't have power. You can say that maybe our higher-ups are maybe corrupt or don't do anything for the lower people, but you can't really say that black people don't have any black towns or don't have any power, because we do.
Yeah.
Like you said, there is black cities today. And he mentioned... when I mentioned we had a symbiotic relationship with white people, see, like, we can have black towns, but there's some people who they believe in having a complete separate government, meaning a complete separate nation of black people. And most people haven't thought that through. When you say you want to be completely separate and independent, meaning having your own country of black people, what land are you going to get? And why should the white man in America cut out a piece of his land to give to you? What are you going to give him? What are you going to give him to make him want to cut out a piece of his land and give to only you? What do you have to trade or bargain with? Why should he do that? Why would he do that? And if he does that, and you become a complete separate nation, you have to have law and order. You have to have a government. You have to have international trade. Who are you going to trade with? If the white man does give you a piece of land and you start your own nation, what's to stop them from coming in and conquering you and just taking it back? Like what happened in Black Wall Street when they came down with the helicopters and all that and destroyed Black Wall Street. You were powerless, unfortunately, were powerless and defenseless because they have higher technology, higher artillery. So if we did become completely separate and independent like how some of these people want, what you gonna do to stop another group of people from coming in and taking your land? Who you gonna trade with for food and goods? And while you're talking about farming, where are you going to get the fruits and seeds from? And how can you, there's 47 million black people in America. Everybody eats 3 meals a day. Do you have that type of food that can feed that many people 3 times a day? No, you don't. It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy. It seems good when you don't think it all the way through. When you think it all through, when you think it all through, it's more like a nightmare. If that were to happen based off of history and how we move, I can guarantee you that within a few years, whatever black land or country that is, it would end up like Haiti is today. It would be another Haiti. It would be in complete chaos, all type of government coups and people just running wild and trying to take over, it would be a complete chaos. It would be just like another Haiti.
Yeah, I'm like, what is that? You doing that tearing stuff up? What, you got some shoes or something in there? Oh, my machine tore up. You there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just yeah. So if that were to happen, it would end up like another Haiti. It would be in complete chaos.
Yeah, just
You
keep
see,
talking. Just keep talking, brother. I have to go check on something real quick. I'll be right back. Just keep talking.
Okay. Because let's say we did become an independent nation, and there's a black country within North America or whatever. How would we establish government? What type of law and order will we have? It would be in complete utter chaos, like Haiti or some of these countries in Africa. We already don't like the police. We don't even trust the damn police. So how in the hell are we going to police our own people? If you go in the black neighborhood, most people distrust the police, whether the police are black or white. And if you don't believe, and if there's not a police, what groups are tough enough or have the mindset to police people and tell people what to do? We already have authority problems. This would be, if we got independence and we had a country of our own, I just guarantee you, it would go down the flames within a matter of a few years. It would not last. You don't have enough food to feed all of the people. The infrastructure, where are you going to get the infrastructure from? Let's say if the white man did cut off a piece of land and he destroyed all the buildings in it and flattened it out for you, how are you going to build it up? What are you going to build it up with? Brick, cement? Where are you going to get that from? You're going to have to trade with the white man. Because you don't have anything to trade with the white man, he's going to loan you something. And you're going to end back up in debt. And when you end back up in debt and can't pay, you're going to end back up in slavery. So no, don't listen to these people who talk about we need to get our own complete, separate, independent nation. No, that's foolish talk. These people going to make y'all end back up in slavery. Well, I don't know. Maybe something, I don't know. Maybe that might be what some of us need, is to get reset and rebooted, get put back in slavery. That might be good. But now, there's nothing wrong with a black run town. That's what we need. But our own black independent nation, no, absolutely not. And then if there's anybody who thinks otherwise, then we can have a discussion about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really it for as far as that.
Well, this is why.
As far as that topic. Go ahead.
Yeah. See, this is why I advocate what we call the Mississippi campaign. Because to me, it's the most realistic approach to the situation. Because you're trying to put yourself in that position, but at the same time, you're not really ready. If you can't take control of a state, if you can't, because see, this has never been done before. It puts you in a position where you don't have to own anything, but you control this particular spot. You're still part of the United States, but we've never had control of a military, and the military would be the Mississippi National Guard. We've never had that kind of power where we actually control the National Guard or the police department or nothing like that. We've never been in a position where we control the assets, anything that's state control, state land. We have control of that. We can go into this state because we know that the current people who are in control, who are in charge of that state, we know that they waste millions and millions, if not billions of dollars every year. So this gives us opportunity to use our intellect to go in, clean up their mess, flip it and turn it around so that it can not only benefit the United States of America, but it benefits this group of people who understand what you got. Because you're not going to get these other things that you're talking about. If you can't control and create something where we live now, you damn sure not going to be able to do it in a foreign land. You've never governed nothing on this level. You've never been here before. This Mississippi campaign is like a training exercise to get you together, training wheels, to get you so that you can work out all the kinks, so that you can fall down if you need to, because you got the United States to help you get your ass back up until you can get to where you're going so that you can ride this bike. It is the beginning or the genesis of all the things that you say that you want. But it's realistic in how you're going to get it, because just like you say, and like what we know, we have a symbiotic relationship here. We're part of this. And it would take generations for us not to be part of this. So we have to work with what we got where we're at now. All this other thing, all this other stuff. And see, the people, if you give them this vision, it is more acceptable than talking about some separate black nation or whatever, because this is where they live. You're already here. You don't have to try to learn a new language. You don't have to try to learn a new culture. You can just be yourself. You're just an American citizen, and you're no different than the people in Utah, those Mormons, where they went and they took control of a state where everything is to their advantage, to those who are in the Mormon church.
Exactly.
So the only thing, we're not saying that we are not Americans or nothing like that. We're just trying to do something. We're just trying to take advantage of the rights that we're supposed to have anyway. Because you're sitting around, we're waiting for these people to treat us a certain way, give us our rights or whatever, when we should now, Dr. King, Civil Rights Movement, all our ancestors have already put us in a position. Now it's up to this generation to put ourselves where we actually belong, where we don't have to ask for rights. We just take what we want because this is what should be given to us anyway. And so we take advantage of all the tools that this government gives us. So as a state, we're in a position, because all states are already in a position. Every state can go out and get business from a country or a nation that the United States consider a non-threat. So you can establish, as long as that African country or that Asian country is not considered a threat to the United States, you can go out on your own and make deals and bring that commerce and trade to your state. You're already in that position. Now, as you grow stronger and stronger, and people see how good this is, of course, we will be able to go on and take control of maybe Georgia or Tennessee or some of the other southern states where we have a large populations of our people. This is more realistic than these other things because it does not interfere. You don't have to run around here and talk about black this and black. No, I'm just an American citizen looking out for our particular group, just like the Mormons or anybody else in this country have done. No more, no less. So they cannot say that what we're doing or what you're doing is some type of domestic terrorism, because the success of Mississippi is really the success of the United States. And you are still under the protection of the United States as long as it exists. But also at the same time, the leadership, you having just like you said, brother, we have a longer term vision where we're looking at all these scenarios. What if the United States is conquered? What if something else changed? So we want to put ourselves in a position where now we're not just 1,000% helpless. We are putting ourselves in a position of where we can defend ourselves to the best of our ability. Right now, we're just at the mercy of anybody. Anybody can do anything they say. They don't have to worry about getting hurt. They can just do whatever the hell they want to us. But with this here, you're putting yourself, because we don't have access to grenade launchers and tanks. The National Guard has access, and even some of these police departments have access to tanks, grenade launchers, all kinds of stuff. We don't have access to none of these different things. You put yourself in a position where you can control water, you can control the gas, you can control the utility company, you can tell them what they can and cannot do. You're in a position to put your program into action. And when you show people that these programs work and they are successful, it's not a black thing, because I guarantee you, governors of other states will say, what they doing in Mississippi? Let's try that ourselves. I'm telling you that this is way bigger than what you think it is. You and I can be the examples. Since you claim that you're God, since you claim that you're king, you got all this wisdom, then you show the world how we're supposed to do. But you don't have that kind of mindset. Your mindset is just like the oppressor. That's your main problem. You're thinking like the oppressor. You're not thinking outside the box. You're thinking like the idiots from ancient times. Why would you want to be like them? You see what happened to them. We're supposed to learn from history so that we don't make the same mistakes that they've done. But the way we hear or how we listen to these talk, they're talking no different than the oppressors and the conquerors before our time, and we see what happened to them. Why would you want to try to copy and be like them? You should want to be different. You should want to do different things. You should want to be a better example. So I don't see no other vision. I don't see no other strategy, no other plan that the masses of the people would find more acceptable than this, because it really don't change our current life. You don't have to believe in Jesus. You don't have to believe in Allah. You don't have to. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Your life don't change. You can just doing what you. The only thing you're slowly doing as a group, you understand that you're looking out for your particular group to put us in a better position. No more, no less. We're not asking you to convert you to Islam or go to church every Sunday. Nobody asking you to do none of this. It's just simply putting this group of people in a position so they can take advantage of the rights and the privilege that they're supposed to have anyway under the Constitution of this United States. No more, no less. Mm-hmm. Now, as time goes on, probably when we're dead and gone, then these other things will make themselves manifest. But you get your children, because we have this long-term vision, you teach those who will be living in that future time what since I'm not going to be there, I can only guess, but you tell them, give them an idea, this is what you need to prepare for. This is what you need to do if you want to survive. Because if you don't do these things, everything that we're doing don't mean nothing, because the inevitable result still going to be our extinction. We're doing this not to die. We're doing these things, we're participating in these activities so that we can live. And they have to understand those things so they can continue. One thing that must be understood, we are the sacrifice generation. See, there are many who want to experience the fruits of everything while they live. That's cool. But that's not for us. We are the sacrifice. We have to make the sacrifices. Like the forefathers of this nation. They took the hit, the real hit. None of these people suffered like the original colonists of this country. They ain't nobody here suffered like that. And many of those who suffered did not get to enjoy the fruits of the United States of America. They died on the battlefield. We are the soldiers. We are those who are supposed to die on the battlefield. We're the ones that make the sacrifices. We're the ones that got to suffer so that they can be better. If you're not willing to do that, sit your happy ass down. Understand that you will die doing this. But if you don't understand that, you selfish and only think about what I want. And that's all I hear about what I want. It ain't about what you want. It is what is in the best interest of your children. I didn't make no children. You made the children. So really I can sit back in the cut and don't have to do a damn thing. You made these children. So if you made these children and you claim that you love them, then you need to sacrifice for them so that their life can be much better than what we're going through. Just like we are doing better than how Dr. King and all those others before us doing because of their activity. So now it's our turn. The baton has been passed to this generation. And what's so sad is that we're the generation, instead of making the sacrifice, we're the generation that's dropping the baton. And for me, that's really, really embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Because you talk a good game, and that's all that you can bring to the table really is talk. And I'm not a talker. You know, it's just like the brother said yesterday. It's about winning, and you don't want to win. You don't want to win because you're too much. You're too selfish, and you're too involved in what you want. It ain't about what you want. We know that the masses of the people aren't going to accept Islam or being a Hebrew Israelite or being a Christian. The majority of the people are not going to do that.
And to add on that, if these people who wanted a separate land or separate nation, independent, here in America, what would be the religion? Can you imagine that nation with a bunch of crazy ass Nation of Islam members and Hebrew Israelites running around killing each other in gang wars all day? Can you imagine that? What would be the religion of that country?
Exactly.
If we can't coexist in our own neighborhoods here, how could we coexist if we had our own country?
Exactly. And this is another thing, a point. It's thousands of these people with this mindset. It's thousands, not maybe even a million or two or whatever. It's thousands. And they talking about what's going to happen when the white man fall or whatever. You ain't doing nothing now. You can't even unite yourself. If you can't, what have you done since 2010? We don't even have to talk about go back to 1960. I'm talking about it's thousands of y'all giving your money to Farrakhan. You're giving your money to Umar Johnson, giving your money to Tahaka Bay and Tariq Nasheed and Sonetta. You're doing all these different things and Pastor Ray Hagan. You're giving all your money to all these people or whatever. Since 2010, all these people with this mindset, you cannot even unite among each other. You get angry at me, you'll call me Uncle Tom or a Sambo or whatever. But you can't even get along with people who think the way that you think. You can't even get along. So,
yep, and
go ahead,
like
bro.
You said, when they call you a Sambo and the coon and all that, what they're really saying is, hey, if I was in control, I'd have you taken care of. That's
exactly.
what they're really saying. That's what happened. That's what would happen.
Exactly. That's so their mindset is no different than the oppressor. You just going from one slave plantation, like we say here, you just go from one slave plantation to another. You got a different massa. But this massa is more acceptable to you because my massa black now. That's the only difference. But that black massa is no different than the white massa. So you still lose. We don't win. But it's thousands of these people, and they can only do diddle-daddle, little fiddly-diddly stuff. A little group do a little something here, a little group do. It's thousands of you. Why you can't come together? All of you are black and you proud, and you want your separate nation. They have not accomplished nothing. And we don't have to go way back in time. 2010 to 2024, what is that, 14 years? What have they accomplished? Do they have a neighborhood? Do they have a city? We know they don't have a state. They don't have nothing. But all of a sudden, if the Caucasian people come out of power, all of a sudden everything's just going to fall in place. That's not how life works. Because if you're not doing nothing now, if you can't get yourself together now, when basically there is no chaos like that, you damn sure not going to do it when there's mayhem and chaos. You're not going to get it together.
And to add on to that, I hear a lot of people, when people be talking about like the global affairs and wars and stuff, I think it's crazy to hear some black people when they, some of our people, when they say, yeah, I hope the Russians do take over. I hope the Chinese do take over. Or the Middle Easterners, they gonna come here, they gonna bomb all the white people. Now listen to that. If anybody take over that country, you think they gonna go around and say, hey, I see you black. We not gonna mess with you. We just gonna kill all the
right.
You really think that's what they gonna say? They gonna take care of you too, fool.
Exactly.
Every American. You don't get no leeway just because you black. You gonna get taken care of with everybody else. If they throw a bomb over here, the bomb is gonna hit everybody.
Everybody.
Not just white people. It's gonna hit white people, black people, everybody over here. They don't see no difference. An American is an American to them.
Exactly.
I don't know why they think that if something bad happens to America, that somehow means it's gonna end up good for them. I don't understand that.
Well, 9/11 was an example. Didn't black people die in 9/11?
Yep. All those black people died in 9/11, but they want to say, oh, well, yeah, the America was wrong, so yeah, they was right for doing the 9/11. But black people died in 9/11.
Yeah. And didn't they just kill 3 American soldiers? All of them was black. Yeah. All the American soldiers that got killed was black. But they were saying that, but before some of these people, they was rooting for the Middle East. Oh yeah, they should destroy some of these military bases. Well, they tried to, and they was all black. Now what? Just like we say here.
These people see an American is an American. They
right.
don't see white American, black American. An American is an American. And I realized that when I was travel out the country.
Mm-hmm.
An American is an American.
It's simple as that.
Only once we're in this country do we then, divide with, all the racial structures in this country. Only then. But outside of here, to everybody else, an American is American.
Exactly. I don't understand. Well, actually, I do understand, because at one time, I thought the same way. I was part of that clique. I was calling people Sambos and coons. I was doing it too. Me too. So it's not like I don't understand. I understand exactly where they're coming from. So because I was there, I was doing the same thing.
Yeah, I used to be rooting for the Muslims. Like, oh, the Muslims could come over here and take over. I don't know what the hell was wrong with my mind. I don't know what made me think that they would spare my family or something just because we black or something. But yeah, I know what it's like.
Well, this is another problem too. Unless you show them that you're not part of that, that's the only way they could begin to determine, okay, those people aren't our enemy. But at this moment in time,
yes, yeah.
But see, at this moment in time, they know that we put on that uniform, we would go over there and we would kill them.
Yeah.
Just like we killed them in Iraq, like we killed them in Afghanistan, like we killed them in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Like we killed them in North Korea. I mean, the Korean War, before they separated.
Mm-hmm.
We are, so they know we are their enemy. Just like the Native American people knew the same thing. They knew that we were their enemy. They gave us the nickname Buffalo Soldiers. They knew that we was coming after them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was some used to have some black people that hated Native Americans.
Exactly.
And then you had some that did side with and enter Native American tribes. You know, 50-50. Some hated Native Americans, some joined in with them. But that's why they did call us Buffalo Soldiers. Yeah.
Because just like you said, we take on the behaviors and we act like them. And we, especially in our infancy, because we're part of this nation, whoever is the enemy to this nation, we are there too. The Japanese is our enemy, the Nazis are, whoever it is. Whoever this nation called the enemy, we do that. Now, there's a price to pay. There's a price to pay if you want to be other than that. Because these people will put you in jail for treason or for not going to fight their wars. And in a lot of cases, they would kill you outright. There's a lot of soldiers who were killed outright. They don't talk about it, but you show that you not with the program on the battlefield, they would kill you outright and say, well, the enemy did it. No, they done it.
Yeah, they'll say that you got hit with a stray bullet or something.
Exactly.
And ain't no witness to the cameras in the jungle.
No.
In the jungle, no witness to the cameras.
No. They even did it in the Civil War. They did it in the Civil War. Confederate, if you show a certain, you have a certain behavior, they'll kill you out there on the battlefield, right there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
There's no evidence. Who gonna prove it? There's a lot of people out there. The enemy done it. There's a lot of reasons they can say, well, this person, didn't make it. They died on the battlefield. So this is the situation that we're in.
And that also I was kind of leading to another topic. Which was you made a video, I think it was last week, about the Malcolm X thing that I agreed on. I also kind of wanted to veer into that to a little bit.
Okay.
What we're talking about. So about how I was like, if the Muslims come over and take over, they're not going to spare anybody with Malcolm X. Well, Malcolm X's goal, Malcolm X was trying to convert all black people into Muslims.
Yeah.
Malcolm X was going to have all black people kissing the Arab's booty like how he kind of was before he passed. Now, I'm not talking bad down on Malcolm because I like Malcolm, but let's be real. Malcolm fell for the okie doke when he went to Mecca, and Malcolm got the white American red carpet treatment. They do not treat black people good in Mecca, but because Malcolm X is a well-known American, he got the red carpet treatment. So when he went over there saying, hey, they don't see no race over here. Islam accept everybody. They don't see any race. That's the experience that they gave him. He didn't get the experience that other poor black or African people get when they go over there. So he fell for that okie doke. He fell for that okie doke and converted to Orthodox Islam. And that was going to be his goal, to convert everybody into Orthodox Islam and have everybody changing their culture to be like some damn Arabs. And now Malcolm X was a good speaker, but I consider it to be disrespectful to put Malcolm X's name in the same category as Martin Luther King. Because Malcolm X, I'm confused I'm not talking down on Malcolm X, but exactly what did he do for black people besides give a bunch of feel-good speeches? Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what he did besides give a bunch of feel-good speeches. I even tried to do research on what did he do. I think he built some type of a school, but the school wasn't for all black people. The school was for black Muslims only.
Mm-hmm.
Black Muslims only. So I feel like it's kind of disrespectful to put his name in the same category as Martin Luther King, because Malcolm X just wanted to. He was only for black Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to convert everybody into Orthodox Islam. So I did agree with you on that. And I was at work, so I couldn't come in on that video. But I used to make posts on Facebook about that years ago, asking like, how is he such a great leader, and like, what has he done for us besides trying to convert us into Islam and basically have us be Arab slaves?
Exactly.
So
I mean, that's just the reality of it. You know, like you said, we like Malcolm here. You know, I see a lot of Malcolm in myself, that experience. Mm-hmm. But the difference between myself and Malcolm is, unfortunately, Malcolm fell for the old okie doke. As intelligent as he was, he couldn't see. He fell in love with this old man. See, I embraced Elijah Muhammad as a child. And to me, he became like a grandfather figure to me. But I never saw him as this divine and special guy and all praise. I never ran around talking about all praises due to Allah for the honorable. I never had that kind of mindset. I never put these people on this type of pedestal. To me, they were just ordinary. I saw them as just ordinary brothers that's supposed to be looking out, trying to do something good for us as a people. That's how I saw them. I did not see them. I did not see them more intelligent and smarter than me, special than me, because they take a dump just like I do. You know, they take a leak just like I do. They have to breathe air like I do. What's so special about your happy ass? I saw Minister Farrakhan as my big brother. That's all. No more, no less. I saw Elijah Muhammad as my grandfather. But all this praising and putting their pictures all on the wall and hollering their name constantly, it even got to the point, brother, where I had to check myself, because I realized, because I was like, Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm, Dr. King, whatever. And I'm like, where are the women in my life? I'm talking about these men all the time. Where the women at? And then I'm looking at my wall, and I think I had Mr. Farrakhan up there for a few minutes. He didn't stay up there that long. But I'm like, where the men at? I mean, where the women at in my life? Where the women, sisters at? I start feeling gay. I even took my own picture down off the wall. I'm tired of all these hard legs. Where the women at? And don't you know, brother, on Facebook, I put up pictures, and I have a category just for the sisters. Then I have another category where I put various pictures. Don't you know a lot of brothers get angry? Well, you got all these women on this picture, whatever. You know, why you got all these women? I'm not gay. You know, what you mean? Right. You want me to be like you and talk about men all day long? I'm not into that. I feel gay. I'm not into that. And then your God is gay, is a he. Your God is a he. All your prophets is a he. I'm like, there's too many damn men around here. I can't do it.
Right. But yeah, you see, that's part of the whole, you know, the Nation of Islam. They take on the Arabs culture, and you know, they think lowly of their women. They don't uphold their women. And you know, so Malcolm X, if he would have, let's imagine if there was this black independent country that Malcolm wanted, and he was the leader. He would have converted everybody into Islam, because he became an Orthodox Muslim. He would have established Sharia law, which is very harsh Islamic laws, which means that if your ass don't convert, you gonna die. If you say something bad about him or Muhammad or something, you gonna die. You say something bad about one of the leaders, you gonna die. You break a law, you gonna get your head cut off or whatever. It would have been chaotic. See, let's take it back. Like, I don't know if you heard of, like, I think it was back in the 20s when the Nation of Islam really was like had a stronghold on a lot of black cities and stuff. You ever heard about the story when they tried to kill Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and they killed all those women and small babies in their house?
Yeah, I don't think it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar bought the house that they lived in. He became part of that organization.
Yeah,
but they
didn't kill him. I think he was on the list though, if I'm not mistaken. He was on the list, but I think he just wasn't home.
Well, they was after the leader. They was after the leader. The leader of that clique. Clique. Yeah, they was after the leader, but he wasn't there.
Okay, but nevertheless, okay, so
yeah.
In the Nation of Islam, they'll try to deny this and say that well, no, these wasn't people from the temple. These wasn't the Nation of Islam people. They a damn lie because the witness, the survivor, the lady who was in the closet, she said that she heard the man say before he shot somebody, held up a picture and say, "Don't you know you can't talk about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad like this?"
Mm-hmm.
So don't try to lie and say it wasn't y'all. It was y'all. Now they went in there, they killed a bunch of innocent women and drowned some damn babies.
Yeah.
3-4 babies. Now how cold do you got to be to kill and drown some infants?
Yeah.
But this is the type of authoritative law that they would have had us under in this new black independent country. These are the type of stuff, the type of leaders that we would have had to live under.
Exactly.
Is that what y'all want? No. Yeah, I think it was another time in New Jersey they was cutting people's heads off and leaving them in parks and shit like that. And oh man, all type of shit. But this is what future would have held if, let's say, somebody like if Nation of Islam did succeed in having its own independent country, or if Malcolm did. That's how it would have played out. That's how it would have played out.
Exactly. You're just going from one oppressor to another. And unfortunately, some people won't learn until they actually get in that situation. Then they're going to find out they made a real bad mistake. Because these Islamic, you already have Islamic countries. The Nation of Islam wouldn't be no different. We already know how those Islamic countries, how they run. Some are more extreme than others, but you still under that crap, and you can mess around and get your head chopped off. And if you're a woman, you damn sure shouldn't want to live there. Because you don't have no rights as a woman. You know, you actually going back to prehistoric era, going to those type of Muslim country. As a woman.
Especially how our women are nowadays. You know, they like to argue and talk back.
Oh no, that's not gonna happen.
The Muslims, you better not. You better not talk back being under the Muslims.
No.
You better not.
Matter of fact, even in parts of Asia, you ain't gonna do it. They shut you down as a woman quick.
Yep.
So you know, I don't, and you know, you want to keep following behind these men. You know, the only thing you are is nothing but you just something to produce other men. You're nothing but a servant to them. That's why they call women's work domestic labor, or you're domesticated. You're a slave. You're to serve them. You're not an equal. Even in the Nation of Islam, they talk all this stuff. Ain't nobody, when those sisters aren't equal to nobody in that place.
Nope.
They skin and grin in your face and give you illusion like it is, but it's not. Because I don't go, actions speak louder than words. I do not see equality in the Nation of Islam. I do not see equality at all. Equality means if Farrakhan live in a big house, I live in a big house. There's no equality in the Nation of Islam because Farrakhan live in a big house and the majority of those who follow him don't. So there's no equality there. That's not equality.
It's no equality, and they have a hierarchy just like anybody else. Like, I be listening to this one dude. I don't know if you be listening to Leon Muhammad sometimes. He be telling his stories. He mentioned something about some of the minister's wives or something. His wife had on a mink coat, but only the minister wives was allowed to have mink coats. And they tried to tell her to take hers off. And it's something about she cussed them out and said, hell no. And they kicked her ass off the nation for a few years. So yeah, it's hypocrisy, and they got a hierarchy, but no, women don't really have no rights.
No, they don't.
It's almost like a royalty there, a royalty hierarchy.
You know, all this obsession with certain individuals. I've never, you know, I've never been fanatical over nobody. I always admire you for your talent, and I like your talent, but I've never been fanatical over nobody. Ain't nobody more important than me. If I'm gonna be fanatical over anybody, it's gonna be my mama. If I'm gonna be fanatical over anybody, you know, all these people,
right.
You know, I don't care how I'm not fanatical over nobody. You special and you divine. You don't mean nothing to me. Now, when I was with Minister Farrakhan, a lot of celebrities came out to the meetings or whatever, and I was introduced and shook hands and met a few celebrities or whatever, but I saw them as nothing but ordinary people. You know, just like, I'm pretty sure you heard my videos. You know, I like this sister right here, Terry Ellis. And I was able to meet her. I even kissed her hand in a concert. She's just a sister. If she was just an ordinary sister down the block, that's all I see her as. She would be, if she lived down the block, she's a sister that I'm attracted to. I would want to talk to her, blah, blah. But just because she's a singer and got this fame, that don't mean a damn thing to me. She's just a person. She's a human being. And within the next 30 years, she'd probably be dead. So what?
But you see, they fought.
You go ahead, brother.
No, I was about to say, but you see, they following Elijah Muhammad's thought process. You see, Elijah Muhammad was, you know, if you take it back, you know, this is not too long after slavery. He lived in some country backwoods part of Georgia, and some damn foreigner man come to him with all these strange teachings. Elijah Muhammad saw him as a god, even though he wasn't a god. Yeah. Elijah Muhammad saw that man as a god. You know, this man in the back country woods of Georgia ain't never heard nobody talk about all this type of stuff. This dude must be a god. He look different. He come with all this different knowledge. He must be a god. Elijah Muhammad is on tape saying, you know, they always say that Master Fard Muhammad, which is funny they call him Master, saying he's right. White. But they always say that he's God in person. Elijah Muhammad is on tape saying at the end of an interview that Fard Muhammad didn't like Elijah Muhammad teaching that he was God in person. Because Fard Muhammad never said that, according to Elijah Muhammad. And he didn't like when Elijah Muhammad used to say that. But Elijah Muhammad continued saying that because in his mind, in the mind of Elijah Muhammad, Fard Muhammad was God. In his mind. Exactly. And from there on, the Nation of Islam just took on that thought process. But in all reality, Fard Muhammad is some damn mixed breed foreigner who was just reading a bunch of damn books from this country to this country, flip-flopping all around the damn place, because he used to be in the more science tip of America, because I saw a damn picture with him, with him in the assembly, and it is him. That one picture that they try to say is not Fard Muhammad with reading the book with the hair slicked back. That's him. It's him. That's him. They don't want it to be him because he looks so white, but that's him. Because like you said, the Detroit Police Department, he been locked up plenty of times. They got his name and pictures. That's him. And that's how I knew. And that's how I knew that was him on that Morris, in that picture in the assembly with the Morris Science tip of America. But he was just a foreigner going around from different countries, reading different books into occult sciences, and he brought that to some backwards country man in Georgia, and that man became a leader and spread it to all the people here, and that's that.
I mean, it's just some religious. I mean, the religion, what it done for these people is what a lot of religion does happen. I mean, it makes you feel good. It'll. I mean, you got to give it its credit, because what it does, it'll take a person that's down and out and you oppressed. Here comes somebody telling you that you God. You know, you God of the universe and you so great and you so special. Yeah, it's very uplifting. So that's the power. All religions do that. Religion will come to you when you're down and out, when you're at your worst, and hype you up. That's what religions do. Then, of course, another thing that they do too when you get all hyped up like that. They say, now, will you put your money in the basket? You know, they're gonna ask you what you can. What you gonna do for me now?
I was gonna add on to that. What you notice with a lot of religions, especially Muslim, if you ever notice, like you said, it feels good to the people who are kind of mentally down. Yeah. You ever notice like it spreads the fastest in prison? Yeah. Why is it that it spreads fast in prison or among the poverty or minority classes and people? The rich people not converting to Islam in record numbers. If it's so true, exactly, it's something about it that only appeals to people that are what you would consider oppressed. Exactly. Why? Because if that was the case, why aren't all these rich people giving all that money to these folks? You know, Jay-Z and Beyonce, who they giving their money to, or Oprah, or Barack Obama? They're not giving their money to all these different churches and stuff. They're keeping their money in their pocket. Poor people, the oppressed, the downtrodden, giving their money to these type of folks. Now they want you. They were another thing about go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah, I'm just saying. These people, these religions, that's who they target. Target you when you are at your lowest. It gives you that spirit. That's why they would tell you. And see, that's why it's very dangerous, because a lot of these people would tell you that this teaching saved my life. No, what would save your life if you was able to think for yourself? That's what would have saved your life. But they give the credit to these teachings that saved their life. And since these teachings saved their life, they willing to kill you for speaking against it because it saved their life. Right. And that's what makes these things, that's what makes this religious stuff dangerous, because they will attack anything that threatens their belief system, that exposes their belief system. And then another thing too, a lot of folks don't want to feel stupid, because they know that what a lot of things that they hear is true, but you make them feel stupid. So I'm going to bust you. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to feel stupid. So I feel if I kill you, it's going to stop. But I want to tell y'all out there, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. Slowly but surely, these ancient, what they call a primordial, prehistoric belief system, they're going to fade away. Because we're just getting too smart. We're too technical to continue to believe this. And after thousands of years gone by, it's quite obvious these things aren't going to come true. What you going to wait? It's going to be the year 30,000 and you still saying the same garbage? It's got to stop sooner or later. It's got to. Right. Now what they start to say now is, well, hey, it don't hurt to believe. You might not know. You don't know. It won't hurt to believe. Because you unbeat them down to an argument so bad that all they can just say now is, well, it don't hurt to believe. What do you gain or lose from belief? Well, actually, it do hurt to believe. Actually, it do. Because you're putting your faith and hope into something it's not real. It's never going to happen. So you're wasting your time. And what makes things so worse is that you don't keep it to yourself. You're going to spread those lies to innocent children and other naive folks. You're not going to keep it to yourself. Now, I would give a lot of Jewish people credit, because I heard Jews don't go around trying to convert nobody to nothing. They keep their crap to themselves. They're not out here trying to convert people to Judaism or whatever. But you got all these other faiths. Right. They out here trying to convert people and get them whatever. Leave people alone. Matter of fact, if you keep it to yourself, nobody won't have nothing to say, because they don't hear your voice. But you come out here in the public and you want to tell this to other folks. Well, it's going to get backlash now. It's going to get backlash. Those days are over. Matter of fact, it was happening. They was getting backlash way back in the day. But back in the day,
they would outright kill people like you and me.
Mm-hmm.
They would ostracize people like you and me. They would make mockery of people like you and me. And they would murder people like you and me for speaking out against these teachings, because this is what the king or the rulers want us to believe. And this has been passed down for generation to generation. It's part of our tradition. Well, we need to traditionally break it up because it's a damn lie. It's all fake and fraud.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And going back to what you were saying about Elijah Muhammad, and I heard a tape where Elijah Muhammad said he asked Fard Muhammad, "Are you God?" And he said that Fard Muhammad never answered him. So he assumed that he was right.
Yeah. I heard that. Yeah, I remember that.
And if you go back and study and look at all the teachings of Fard Muhammad before Elijah Muhammad, he don't teach that he's God in person.
Mm-hmm.
He never taught that.
Nope, I never heard him mention that or nothing about him saying that he was actually God.
No, he didn't teach that. The original name of the Nation of Islam was Allah's Temple of Islam or something like that. I think that was the original name.
Mm-hmm.
And Fard Muhammad was the leader. He was the one that got that together. There was no teaching where he was saying that he was God in person.
And now, are you familiar with, I'm not sure if this was him or not, but I think when that Fard Muhammad first came to Detroit, and I think this was him. You ever heard about the story about the voodoo house?
Yeah. Yeah, one of his followers, see, that was part of the teaching. That was part of his teaching.
Yeah.
About human sacrifice.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Fard Muhammad was reading all these type of books from all these different countries, almost like he was into a cult practice.
Yeah.
This is almost.
Yeah, I forgot what the name of the
brother. Yeah, there was a one. What was it? One of his followers had beheaded somebody as a sacrifice.
Yeah, I don't think he beheaded. I think it was like a heart sacrifice or something. Put him on a pew and split him open or something like that. Matter of fact, that's what got Fard Muhammad in trouble when that happened. They was doing all right to that man did that. That's what messed up the whole nation, the Islam thing that he was doing. That what messed the whole thing up. Got the police involved in that situation. They was doing just fine. I mean, they didn't like them, but they tolerated that movement. But when that happened, that what brought in the police. But that was part of his teaching, because I saw some of the literature.
Yeah.
I saw some of the literature when Fard Muhammad, before Elijah Muhammad, when Fard Muhammad was in charge, and he was talking about human sacrifice, and one of the believers decided to do it.
Really?
I want to go back to this thing about war. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and I remember when I was doing my research on Fard Muhammad, one of the places he got his teachings from, now he was supposed to be from British India.
Mm-hmm.
Now I noticed with some of the stuff he was teaching in British India, it was this other guy, I forgot his name at the time, where he claimed that he was the second coming of Jesus. And ironically, this dude who was an Arab, claiming that he's the second coming of Jesus, ironically, this dude was teaching the same thing, ironically, that was similar to what Fard Muhammad was teaching. Mm-hmm. And ironically, they come from the same area.
Mm. And the Quran that they suggest that we read is translated, I believe, not from Arabs, because you know the original Quran is supposed to be Arabic, right? But it's translated from people that's not even Arabic, but they come from Pakistan. They're not Arabs like that. I forgot. I don't know exactly if I'm explaining it right, but they're not Arabs.
Yeah, it's like it's translated from people. Yeah, they aren't from Arabia, but
yeah, they're not from Arabia.
Eastern country.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and And in the Quran, it says that the Arabs are the masters of the Arabic language. So how in the hell do we know that the people who's converting it who aren't Arabs know it right? When it's saying there only the Arabs are the master of the Arab language, and hell, they barely even, they still say that. They don't even got it right.
Exactly. But these are the things that we get caught. And see, what Malcolm X did, unfortunately, he didn't get an opportunity to really express himself. You know, he was murdered. But what Malcolm did, one of the smart things that Malcolm did do, he split his organization into two parts. There was a part just for the liberation and the struggle, and there was a part just for spiritual, religious beliefs. He knew that keeping them together, you're not going to accomplish nothing, because as we know, religion, that type of, or something religious like, is very divisive, because you have those things like Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is not considered a religion, but in reality it is. Because there's a lot of beliefs that goes along with it. It's treated like a religion now, something that people believe. And anything that you have to believe in, something like that, is very divisive. So Malcolm was smart enough to understand to separate church from state. Because those things are those type of things, religion is very divisive. And it also makes you very hateful. You know, some of these people, like I say, I've known a lot of good Muslims. I know a lot of good Christians, so it's not everybody. But there's a group of folks out here, religion, and I was telling you about, if you watched one of my videos I made earlier this week, I was talking about one of my relatives. Hateful person, nasty person because of religion. Some of these people will hurt you because of this religious stuff.
Yep.
You know, they put that over their own parents and husbands and wives. Even children. They don't care. It's all about the massa. It's all about this divine, whatever they view. They don't care nothing else about nothing else. This brother was on here a few months ago back. He said he would give his young daughter to Elijah Muhammad because he's divine.
Oh, you see, that's sick.
Yeah,
that's a sick belief. That's a sick belief when you believe in it so much that you would do something like that. And I've heard Orthodox Middle Eastern Muslims say the same thing, because you know Muhammad he married a 6-year-old too.
Yeah.
One of them asked to say, well, if he was alive today, would you give your daughter to him? Some of them say yes.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. They give their children, they give their wife, they'll give themselves.
Yep. That is part of a cult-like behavior in all cults. Funny enough, in all cults, you'll see that the cult leader is always asking for somebody's wife. Or for somebody's child. I watch a lot of documentaries. The cult leaders somehow end up with making somebody divorce their wife, or forcing somebody to give up their child, to marry their child. I've seen so many cults like this, and the cult of Islam is no different. Yeah,
it's all this. They do it in churches. Churches, they do the same type of thing. You know, the pastor takes advantage of the female flock. Nowadays, the pastors take advantage of the boys in the flock. They after the boys. They ain't after the girls. They after the boys. Dang, bro, you ain't safe no matter where you go. we ain't safe. You got booty banners, whether it's male or female. You just can't. Poor children just can't win. They just can't win.
Yeah, and here in America, we got all type of security. Imagine all of the preachers and imams in foreign countries, or backwards countries, where you can't say nothing if they did something with a child.
Exactly.
Imagine that.
Exactly.
If you try to say something, say he did, you better watch your whole family. Better watch out if you do say something against him.
Exactly. Well, in this country, more and more people are coming out. But back in the day, you know, everything was kept under wraps. Everything was secret, you know, undercover.
Mm-hmm.
But more and more people are coming out now. But it has been going on for a long, long time. And some things are just some things are just what people done, because when I was growing up, grown men was coming to my high school, coming to get young girls.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody said nothing about it.
When I was in high school too. I mean, I wouldn't say it was like grown men, but people who already graduated, that was acceptable.
Yeah, acceptable.
Most a girl in the same grade as me, same class as me, would say, "No, you too young for me."
Right. Exactly.
We in the same damn class, same grade.
And we didn't, you know, I couldn't be in competition with nobody like that, because they was out there, you know, working their jobs and they had cars and whatever. You know, how you gonna compete with that? And them young girls was happy too. They'd go out there and, you know, they in the car and flossing or whatever. And that grown person, whatever, probably was giving them beer and alcohol, you know, whatever, and drugs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they was all happy with it then, but nowadays the same girls that did that now they'll say something about it as if they wasn't doing it when they was that age.
Exactly. So we want to. I titled this discussion "Black Man, We're at War," and I titled that because I was pretty sure that you wanted to talk or respond to our conversation that we had on the panel yesterday. Also, when we say that, I don't think that we really, I don't think these people really understand and can comprehend what war really is. I mean, it's easy to say, but I really don't think they understand what it means to be at war. Because we've never been at war. We've always gotten our ass kicked. I mean, if you're at war with somebody, I would think the other side get to slap you around a little bit. You know, we ain't never got to slap nobody a little bit. We just got our ass whooped for 500 years. So how the hell, what do you know about war? And you ain't never been in a position to even try to fight back or do anything. I mean, we had a few skirmishes. You know, you had Nat Turner, and we had a few individuals that do a little something, but that's not us as a people. Us as a people, we've been getting our ass whooped for 500 years.
Oh, and that leads me into something else. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily here with Black America, but the thing with Haiti. You know, they'll love to give an example. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we have been in war before. Look at Haiti, the Haitian Revolution.
Yeah.
The Haitian Revolution was a series of battles that the native people of Haitian, the Maroons there, they managed to defeat some of the mulatto French and the French settlers there and push them back. What they won't tell you is that after the French lost that war and went back to France and reported back to their president or whoever, they was going to come back with the full naval fleet and decimate the whole damn island. And in order for them not to do that, the native people of Haiti had to pay them reparations and money to not attack. Mm-hmm. And that's why Haiti is still in debt to France today. Yeah. Because France was going to come back with a full Navy fleet and decimate the whole island unless the people had to pay them to keep them away. But they won't tell you that. They'll only mention the first few battles, which was the Haitian Revolution.
And look at the condition of Haiti right now.
Exactly. It would appear that they would have been better. It would appear that they would have been better had the French not have left.
I heard
that's what it to me.
I heard some of these African nations, after they regained their independence from the colonists, some of them are asking for help from the people that they kicked out. You know, because they can't.
Yes, they are.
Because you see, this is what I'm trying. That's what we're trying to tell Black Americans here. You ain't governed nothing. What make you think all of a sudden you're going to get this land and you're going to govern? You have no idea of how to govern and how to set things up and what to do. You have no idea of how to do that. That's why I keep saying this Mississippi plan gives you your training wheels where you can learn how to do those things. And if you fall, you got this government that can back you up and help you get back on the bike to get you some help.
Exactly. You see, they'll talk a lot about, well, hey, we got all the resources in the land and stuff. So what?
Yeah.
How you gonna dig it up?
Exactly.
You don't got the tools to dig it up. You don't got the tools to dig it up. And once you dig it up, you don't got the tools to know how to do whatever with it, to convert it.
Exactly.
So what?
So what's the sense of having resources and you can't do that?
Yeah, and you have the people in Africa always clown, the colonists, they came here, stole our resources. Y'all didn't even know y'all had resources. Y'all didn't know what y'all was standing. Y'all didn't know what y'all was standing on until they came there and dug it up.
Exactly.
You don't have the machinery to dig it up and convert it. And I did a video on my channel. It's called "Why Is Africa So Poor?" Which is basically talking about how all those countries in Africa that were colonized, about how they're doing worse and poorer now than they did when they were under colonization. Most of all of them, they were doing better and had better infrastructure and a better economy when they were under colonization. After the colonists left, all those countries are doing worse now. And like you said, many of them are still calling back to Europe for favors and loans. Yeah. Because they don't know how they can't run it. They can't run it themselves.
Exactly. You know what they say? The old saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. You know, if you throw out trash, it's no good to you. You don't have no use for it. But another person said, that's cool. They add a few nuts and bolts, and they selling it. The same thing you throw out as trash. Now they got on the market for $1,000. I've seen that happen many, many times. Right. So Africa can have all the resources forever. But if Africa don't know how to get those resources, don't know how to transform those resources into something usable by the human beings willing to pay the price for those resources, it don't mean nothing.
Exactly.
It don't mean nothing. So what? What's the sense of me being on a gold mine? I know I'm on a gold mine, but I don't know how to extract the gold. I don't know how to process it. I'm just on a gold mine. So it don't mean nothing. And that's their problem.
Exactly.
And their next problem...
Say that,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and they'll say that, we should charge the colonists for coming to our land and using our resources. But why should you charge them? You didn't know you had it. They the ones that brought the artillery over here. The machines over here to dig it up. If anything, they should be charged. They should be charging you. Well, in which they kind of are, but.
Well, they're not very good business people either, because there's no way to hell. Just like those Arabs. See what the Arabs did? The Arabs became super rich. You have the same, those Africans have the same type of resources, same type of thing, like those Arabs have oil. They should be super rich. You got people, apparently y'all don't know how to handle your business.
Yep.
Because you should be just like those Arabs.
Yep, and what I was saying earlier about if there was this fantasy black nation and black land cut off here in America, who are you gonna trade with? What happens when you run out of food? How are you gonna feed so many people, 47 million people, 3 times a day? Who are you gonna trade with?
Exactly.
And if you don't have anything to trade with, that means somebody's gonna have to let you loan something. And if they let you loan something, you're gonna be in debt. And if you can't pay that debt, then guess what? You go back into slavery. So what are you going to trade? Like the Arabs right now, for the longest time, we've been getting oil for them. Well, now that America, we about to start doing our own oil. Now they scrambling right now, trying to find something else to trade because they know they about to get cut off. Now, what would we do in that situation? What are we gonna trade? They talking about farming. What are we gonna trade when we run out of food? Because you can't feed 47 million people 3 times a day. You have nothing to trade. You're gonna end up having to take a loan from some other country, and then when you can't pay that debt, you're gonna end up as a slave to them. It's a setup in my mind. It's a setup.
Well, you know what they say? They said debt is slavery.
Yeah, exactly.
So we at war, but we don't have no war plan. I know people tell me, or I've been told throughout the years, oh, brother, you need to read The Art of War or whatever. It's a popular book called The Art of War, and I forgot exactly what it's about. It's about I think it's about somebody. They was able to put their people in position, and they took over a country. I forgot exactly what the basis. I'm probably sure you heard of the book. And I think they made a movie about it too, The Art of War.
Yeah, I heard of The Art of War.
Okay. So my question to them, these people who want me to read The Art of War, what has The Art of War done for you in the last 10 years? You want me to read The Art of War, and it's so great or whatever. What has The Art of War done for you? Reading about war is different than actually participating in war. Because we can watch all the war movies, and we can read about war all we want to, about what somebody else did and what their strategy. That don't mean nothing until can you apply those things that you're supposed to learn. So what is it that you learn in The Art of War that you have applied and you have been successful in that application? That's my question to them. Within the last 10 years, you have not accomplished anything. Now, again, it goes back to what I was saying about, I think we just talking, and we just talking just for the hell of it. We're not talking for understanding and comprehension and understand the reality of the situation that we're dealing with. We're just talking because it sounds good to us. I was watching Roots, the original Roots, and Chicken George came home, and slavery was over, and his sons and daughters-in-laws was trapped by these Peckerwoods. They told them they was under debt. You can leave, but you got to pay us this money. So they was enslaved. They knew they wasn't in debt, but it's their ball game. So we can't. What can you say? So when Chicken George came home, the son told him, well, Chicken George bought property in Tennessee, I believe. He said, I come to get my family. I bought us some land in Tennessee. It's time for us to go. And the son was like, we can't go nowhere, Dad. We owe this Peckerwood this money. You owe them what? So now Chicken George, when you talk about war, Chicken George was a war veteran. And he learned things from the war. And he told his son, we are at war. And he began to show them, this is what we're going to do. He was the general. This is how we're going to get out the situation. We at war. He told his sons, you got to look at this as a war situation. We're at war. And this is the strategy that we're going to use. And then the plan that they came up with, they got caught up. And the Peckerwood thought that they had the upper hand. Chicken George came and didn't tell them that they had plan B, because he was taught in the service, you always have a plan B just in case plan A don't work. And he put the Peckerwood in a bad situation, a bad position. And that's how they got over. That's how they was able to leave that land and go where Chicken George had bought that land. I'm saying this because we are at war. That means you have to have a strategy. And you have to apply that strategy. And if that strategy don't work, then you always got to have a plan B. You have to think like a soldier. You have to think like you at war. Praying to Allah is not, it's nice for you as an individual, but that's not war strategy. I don't know nobody that run around and that's part of their war strategy. You have to understand the situation that you're in. You have to understand the situation that you're in. It's like playing chess. When your opponent do this, I'm going to do that. It's like playing chess. And this is what we don't do. Because talking a good game is one thing. The actual application is another. We haven't even got to the point in our generation, we haven't even been able to apply anything. The last 14 years, it's nothing but talk. There's no application. And you will never get any application because you can't unify to do a damn thing. Chicken George family, all the members, including, they even had a white guy, I forgot what his name, I think he was Little George, I forgot what his name was. Little George, I think that's what they call him. They took advantage of Little George. See, Little George was able to go and do things they couldn't do. Oh, woo, Miss Detective, these people just don't know what's happening. There was an advantage to having that white family with them because Little George could go, Little George could hear things that they couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
We don't understand that. It's all blackity black, black, black. Even among us, they don't send white informants and agents to us. They find people that look like us. So how come we can't,
right.
why we can't do the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, brother, Myth Detector, the reason why I'm talking to you is because I had white agents looking out for me. That's the reason why I'm talking to you. Because they was able to go in places and hear and get information I know I couldn't do. It was impossible for me to get. And they would bring it back to me. Oh, they planning this. And so when they told me what they was planning, I was able to counter what they was planning to do to me.
Yeah, and along those lines, what a lot of people don't know is that with Nat Turner, Nat Turner, he was allowed to go off of the slave plantation and preach the gospel to people and this and that. Well, do people know why? Because Nat Turner was a mulatto. That's why he was one of Master's favorite, because he was half black, half white. Mm-hmm. Nat Turner is described in papers as appearing to look like a white man. Mm-hmm. That's why he was allowed to go. That's why he was allowed to go off of the plantation and to learn how to read. That's how he knew how to read and knew where all the different plantations were and where to go when he was planning the slave rebellion. That's why. That was their inside, man.
Mm-hmm. See, that's part of war. Even in this country, there are Russian spies in this country. Some of them spies been here for 50 years, been here longer than we have, probably. And America do the same thing. They put their people all over the earth, put them in different positions. That's what war is all about. Spies and agents. When these people talk about spies and agents, they talk about people like me because I said something they don't like about Islam or I don't like the Honorable Minister Fry. You a spy, you an agent. You don't even know what a spy or agent is. That's not what that's about. Spies and agents try to get close to you. Like Malcolm, that Gene Roberts guy. He worked for the New York Police Department. He skin and grin and pretend he was loving everything Malcolm said and done so he could get close to Malcolm. Spies and agents don't say things to keep you away from them. They say things to make you believe, make you want to believe that they with you. They want to be like you. They want you to like them. A spy and agent don't say things that you don't like. They say things to pump your your ego, so they can get close to you so they can stab you in your damn back. You don't even know what a spy or an agent is. You don't know what they do. You don't know nothing about espionage.
Yeah.
You don't have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, in the engagements of war.
No, they have no no idea.
Espionage.
Yeah.
Yeah, espionage. What's it called? I lost my track of mind. What is it called? But anyways, yeah, you got to know all of that. Stuff.
Whatever it's called, they don't know nothing about it, and not even trying to learn nothing about it. They have some. They've been watching too many World War II videos or something.
Yeah, infiltration. That's right.
Yeah, infiltration.
All of that.
Yeah, they have no idea of how things for real work. You have no idea of what war is and the concept of war. And then we have our people. Some of them have knowledge. They don't even really bring that to the table. The people that talk about war, a lot of them never even been in a war. They never been on the battlefield. They never even been in the service. They never fought for the white man or nobody. They talk about in the war and the agents. Nigga, you ain't even never been out your hometown. What the hell you talk about war?
Yeah, then they also they don't have any type of concept of outside the box of understanding like global politics.
Yeah.
Let's say you do go to war. Let's say you do go to war with the white man here and win. Okay, you beat the white man. What about everybody else in the world that's gonna be coming for you now? What about them? You think they just gonna let y'all live in peace? No. The human species from the beginning of time, since primordial man, has always been big dog eat little dog.
Mm-hmm.
You conquer or get conquered. That is a part of the human species. So, what y'all gonna do after that? If you do now finally go to war or win a few battles against the white man, what you gonna do against everybody else in the world that wants you now?
To make a long story short,
I hope they trying to build partnerships with Africa is going to benefit you. Hell, what they gonna do? Shit, they under people.
Exactly.
They can't help themselves.
Exactly. And again, we don't. I keep telling these people, Africa don't give a damn about you unless you can show what can you do for Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about your pretty talk. Nobody cares about your pretty fantastic talk. Africa don't give a damn. Oh, we related. They don't give a damn because we related. What are you going to do for me? And we have nothing except lint in our pockets. That's why this vision that we call the Mississippi Campaign will put us in a position where we can create something that we can offer. Because nobody wants to listen to you if you don't have nothing. No country, nobody want to listen to you if you. It's just like you. You're not going to listen to a bum in the street if they don't have nothing to offer. You don't want to befriend. You might feel sorry for them, but you don't want to befriend somebody that's homeless on the street. Can I have a dime? You don't want no real association with nobody. They don't have nothing.
Exactly, and that's I lost my train of thought earlier, but what I wanted to talk about, I got all of these people talking about, the pro-black people talking about, we should get our own independent country nation. Do you know? See, racism comes from stereotyping, and stereotyping comes from classism. Do you know that there's some black people here that are part of the 1% of millionaires that would never side with somebody that some nobody who live on the other part of town and talking about some fantasy black country? They would never join that. They would never want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
They would look down on you. And why would they get rid of their rich American dollars to revert back to the Stone Age time in some black country? Why would they want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
There's black people in the upper class that look down on black people in the lower class, and that's just how it is. It's not about race; it's classism.
Exactly.
Why would somebody that's living in Baldwin Hills or whatever rich part of the country want to come live next door to somebody that's staying in the projects?
Mm-hmm.
Why would they want to do that? So yeah, that's another thing they don't understand. It's
a lot of issues.
It's a lot of classism.
It's a lot of issues. You don't want to be around white folks, and you want to separate from the white folks, and you want your own nation or whatever. But like we was talking about it before, okay. See, the thing about human beings, it might be race right now, but it could be we don't like short people. Short people, we got a problem with short people. Or, of course, with the religions. Well, we can't do Hebrew Israelite here. We can't do Islam here. We can't do such and such here. All these things are going to come up. You got rid of the racist part because you're not with white folks no more. And really, you're not going to get rid of the racist part because then it's something that's in us that we don't like talking about, but it's still part of us. The light skin versus dark skin. Because we talk all that black stuff, but these people, the reality is they really don't like that real black dark skin color. Folks don't really like that. They really don't like that. Your actions speak louder than words. And on top of that, black Americans aren't black like that. That's not who we are. I put up a picture. There's a sister named Rashida Strober. She's the dark-skinned activist. Shout out to Rashida Strober, the world's first dark-skinned activist, and her daughter and husband, baby Lauren. Shout out to the dark-skinned activist platform. But I put up a picture of her. She believes that she's really dark. I'm the dark-skinned activist. I put up a picture of a sister and her daughter. I mean, really, for real dark. Rashida looked brown, dark brown compared to them. There was nothing brown about this other. I don't know. I think she's a sister from some African country. I don't know what the picture. I just know that they really dark. Now, Rashida is the dark-skinned activist, and she thinks she's dark. No, you ain't dark. This is dark. I mean, the pupils of the eyes is black. The skin is black. White teeth, I mean black, for real. I mean dark. Nothing brown about these people. That's what's going to happen among us. Because, see, you can say anything out of your mouth, but subconsciously, your actions going to show exactly who you are. And you're going to be looking at a nation, just like the Nation of Islam, talking all that black stuff. Who is the leadership? Bunch of light-skinned Negroes. Who's always on their platform with Minister Farrakhan? Nothing but a bunch of light-skinned folks. You talking all this, I'm black and the black man is God. Ain't nobody black. Where the black people at? That was probably part of my problem. I didn't realize when I was striving to be Minister Farrakhan's Malcolm X. I didn't know I was fighting racism in the Nation of Islam, but you are. So even in your own black nation, you're going to experience that. And we still carry that. The good hair. You know, some of us have the good hair and the red bone. We still do that to this day. We still see that the lighter or those of us who look more European, we're more cuter, we're more handsome than those of us who have these other facial features and skin colors. It's still there. So that's not going to go away. Just because you separate from white folk, that's still part of you. And you still carry that mindset. Black. They still carry that mindset. So actually you defeating the purpose. If you can't get rid of that mindset, you defeating the purpose of separation, because you still, only thing you did was go to another place, but you still carry the stench from where you left. And you're not gonna, ain't nothing's gonna change except those who oppress you. Now the white man not oppressing you. Now light-skinned black folks is oppressing you. So what did you gain? What did you change? And you have Rashida Strober in the new land. Y'all prejudice against dark-skinned people. Where the white folks? Can't blame white people. You left. You separated. Because it's still there. There are a lot of sicknesses that we have. Some of us want to ignore. Some of us don't want to deal with. And those sicknesses is going to cause your failure in anything that you do. That's why I say the Mississippi campaign is the best vessel, the best option to go, because it gives us opportunity to weed those things out of us. Like I said, we're not going to see the fruits, but we know what to do. We're damaged goods. We're damaged goods, but we are the sacrificial lamb. We know what to do, and we can put the next generation on the path that they need to be. We can weed all this stuff out as time goes on. We're not going to be able to see it. It's up to them. Dead and gone. But at least I won't be embarrassed no more. And the next generation said, that generation there was some pitiful Negroes. Damn, they was pitiful. Pathetic. The only thing they could do is make a YouTube video. Now that's pathetic. That's pathetic. Right. That's pathetic. The next generation after us, I think it's Generation Z. Is that the next generation, whatever? I think that's what they call them. Generation Z. And their children, whoever their children are, they're going to look at us. They're going to say, wow, they were some pitiful Negroes. The only thing they could make only thing they could do is twerk and make a YouTube video. How embarrassing. But it goes again back to what we was talking about actually in our first conversation yesterday. And also, brother, the Common Sense brother, shout out to him. We don't think things through. And if you notice, they don't mention logic. They don't mention common sense. They don't mention reason. They don't mention being analytical. What I did see out of the conversation yesterday, if you give yourself an opportunity to listen, not hear, listen, and stop being emotional so you can see the logic behind things. Analyze what you're talking about. Use some common sense and reason. The only thing those brothers can do is just get quiet. Because those of whom they're around, they don't think things through. They're just emotional. Like the difference between a girl fight and when you see in professional boxing. When girls fight, they just slapping around, hoping they hit something and grab some hair. That's how a lot of women fight. Professional boxing is a strategy.
Yeah.
Professional boxing is a strategy. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, yesterday when I was talking about if the white man falls and we fall, how we gonna fight off the other nations from trying to take over and what they back with artillery. He really said, oh, fuck the cartel, we have the power of melanin. We don't need guns. Are you serious? And at that moment it just dawned on me like, all right, see. Some people you just I just can't really reason and logic with. Not talking about the brother because I don't know too much about it.
Right. You talk about the power of melanin. See, the thing about that is melanin is a very, very minute part of us. If you can take the melanin out of us and it don't mean nothing. You're not gonna do better, you're not gonna do any less. It don't really mean too much. It don't mean nothing. That's just a little part of us. Carbon, those things that they talk about. That's just a little bit part of us. We're not made of that. They talking about it like we're made of it. You're not made of melanin. We're not no carbon people. You can't function like that. Blood is not carbon. Our muscle mass, we're not carbon. You act like you made of that. That's not who you are. That's just a little minute part of your existence. That's all. And everything in our life, there's a negative and a positive. So whatever it is, it has a good side and a bad side. And clearly melanin has been bad because somebody came up with racism. And if you have melanin, it put us on the bad side. Because of melanin, we was chosen as slaves. We are the best to be slaves. We are the best people to be exploited because of melanin. So it has a good side and a bad side.
Exactly.
Being tall is cool until you get trapped down in the wrong hole and only a small person can creep out and get out of it and throw you down a rope or something. There's a good side and a bad side of everything in our existence. Because it's cool. A lot of people want to be tall. But then there's a lot of times in certain situations you wish you were short. So there's good and bad in everything that we do. It's cool to be a man, and in some cases it's better to be a woman. So, you can't, it's according to the situation that you be in. Right now, melanin has been bad for us. And our current mindset of how we look at being a carbonated being or a melanated being, our current mindset is detrimental to us instead of being beneficial. Because the way we view things is still coming from the eye and the viewpoint of the oppressor and how he painted it. Because prior to them, there was no such talk. And you get all the ancient writings, whatever. Ain't nobody was talking like this in ancient times. It wasn't necessary. They made it an issue. Not those in ancient times. They made it an issue. Exactly. And they made it negative on us.
Exactly. Like the other brother was saying when we was talking about racial stuff, like you said, they still going by the eye based off of how melanin look. That is not a racial class. That does not determine your racial class. Like he was mentioned, like a woman in Africa. I told him, I said, people in Africa are not the same as you.
No.
They're not the same race as us. You're talking about interracial marriage. Well, that's considered damn near an interracial marriage because we are not the same race. We are not the same culture. Whether you want to believe it or not, or whether some people want to believe it or not, a Black American culturally has more in common with a white American than we do a Black African.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anything culturally in common with African. We don't eat the same food. No. We don't watch the same TV shows.
No.
We don't listen to the same music. We don't have the same type of morals or upbringing they have. Nothing. To be honest, we have more culturally in common with a white American than we do a Black African. So I would consider that an interracial marriage or an interracial relationship in my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
we might look the same, but we are not the same. We are not the same at all.
But we can't even go by looks, because looks is deceiving. Like I said in earlier videos, the ancestor of the dog is a wolf, and some dogs look like wolves, but they're not wolves. They're dogs. So it don't make no difference what we look like. We're not them. The only thing we know is that somewhere down in the line, genealogy or evolution or however you want to say it, that is in our DNA, just like dogs. But a dog is not a wolf. And some dogs, you don't even know that they had anything to do with wolves. They've been so genetically manipulated or whatever. How the hell did you get that from a wolf? But that's their line. They came from wolves. It's the same thing here. We've been here for 500 years. We've been raped by the Europeans, and we've been intermixed with all different other kinds of African people and people from the islands and Native American people here. We got all kinds of stuff flowing. Then when we became free, we began to mix with other people, Asians and other folks in this country. We all mixed up. But the thing about it is, we became our own unique breed, hybrid breed, just like in dogs. You got the collie, and you got the bulldog, you got German shepherds. And that's what we've done. We become our own unique breed. That's what we've become. And if we want to keep our breed, our people alive, then we have to concentrate on ourselves. Because even going, like I said yesterday, even mixing with African people, you're destroying your breed. Because we're not them. We are our own unique self. And mixing with them, you will destroy what we know of as the Black American. It won't exist no more. And that's just the bottom line. People who breed animals and they want to keep their breed pure, they don't mix them with other animals. And that's why they keep papers on animals. Because some animals look pure, but they're not. So they ask you where your paper's at. Because they want to know who was the daddy, who was the mama, who was the daddy, who was the mama. They want to know that this breed is pure. If you don't have no papers, you can't. I ain't bring your dog because I don't know what, because they'll breed with your dog, and your dog might look like a certain breed and come out with different puppies. They're like, what the hell is this? I thought your dog was a purebred. I thought, because you're going by looks. Because a mixed breed dog can look like a purebred. I know. I've seen it many, many times. That's why they ask you for your papers. If we are Black Americans and we mix with even African people, now you producing a child that's half Black American, half Ghanaian or Congolese or whatever. That child is not Black American no more. And then if that child mixed with somebody, you breaking it down more and more and more as time goes on. Somebody was saying on the live stream yesterday that your DNA your DNA still travels, but it's not pure no more. Now when you mix with other people, you're gambling with the gene pool. Could be, yes. Could be not.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what's happening.
Exactly.
So if we are truly proud of us as Black Americans, we don't know what we want to be called, but anyway, I'm just going to say Black American, soul brothers and sisters on this platform. If we want to keep ourselves pure and keep us going, because I believe our ancestors deserve that. We deserve this. Then we can't even go outside to other melanated people. We can't. We got to try to do what we can to keep to ourselves so that we can exist. Because sooner or later, and see, this is why you cannot blame white people when they want to try to keep to themselves, because they understand that once they mix, that's not white no more. They understand that. Do they have the right to try to keep themselves alive? Because that's not them no more. Once you mix with somebody, that's not you no more. That's a mix. And that begins to produce a brand new different people. That's not you anymore. Your existence dies. You no longer exist. You are in the process of creating something brand new. You die. And any male in his right mind wants his DNA to live. Your DNA, you have destined it to die when you mix outside of the female that was created for you. And with that, the end of your culture, anything that comes along with you, that begins to die too. Because sooner or later, that won't exist no more. Sooner or later, no one even give a damn about it no more. And whatever you left behind, somebody else will just claim it or whatever. You're gone. But if we want ourselves to live, the only way we can live is through the womb of a soul sister, through the black woman. That's the only way. Not through an African or somebody from the island. It has to be through ourselves. This is not a hater move. You don't hate nobody. This is not about hate. This is about your particular group. They even do it in religion. Because I know Jewish people, this is what they do. Orthodox Jews do not allow you to marry people outside of their religions. You want to do that, you're no longer part of us. Go on, do your thing. You're not part of this no more. If you want good gas in your car, you do not mix gas with water. Water is not gas. When you mix water with gas, your car start running funny because water is not gas. So if we want this car to run the way it's supposed to, you cannot mix water in it. Has nothing to do with hate. This is what you see in nature. All types of birds, they don't intermix with one another. A robin is a robin, a sparrow is a sparrow. They don't run around get into each. You don't never see no robin talk about, I fell in love with a sparrow. That don't happen. There's nothing wrong with that. And all these birds, majority of them live peacefully. Has nothing to do with hate or whatever. Has nothing to do with that. It's about the survival of your species, you as a people. What's wrong with that? Intermixing in nature is a rarity. And a lot of times, the offspring, if it happens, a lot of times in nature, these mixed offspring are rejected. In nature, they're rejected. And a lot of times they are mutated to the point where they can't even survive. So there's nothing wrong with us wanting to be who we are. What's wrong with us being our own unique original self? Everybody else had the opportunity. Why we got to run around here and want to destroy ourselves? But then again, maybe that's what should be done, because our existence came from an unnatural practice, which is slavery. That's why we came into being, because of an unnatural practice. But we're here now. And don't we want to live?
Right.
Don't you want to live? Don't you think we want to live? Don't you think after 500 years we deserve the right to live? I say so. I don't want to be them. Because like I said yesterday, you want to be them, that means you are also accepting not only their good, but you are also accepting their bad. And you notice they never want to talk about their bad. Because these folks have done some bad prior to European. Before Europeans showed up, these ain't no goody two-shoe ass folk. And they keep talking about Africans. There are African tribes right now. In fact, they just discovered way deep in the jungle, these people. The Karashi tribe, I forgot exactly what it is. But they cannibals. And they don't live on the ground. They make their huts and things up in trees. They live up in the trees, but they're cannibals. So you related to that. You want to be an African, you related to everybody. You related to cannibals. And a lot of these Africans, they practice strange stuff. They eat termites. I know, I see them. Africans eat termites. They eat grubs. They eat a lot of different strange foods and things that you find disgusting.
I saw that when they eat termites. I saw a video. They was eating mosquitoes. You know, mosquitoes carry diseases. They was frying mosquitoes and eating mosquitoes. So, you know, that goes back again to where you was talking about. We have no cultural connection to that. They connect to the Africans who have taken on European ways. That's who they gravitate toward. They don't talk about the Africans who actually live and act like the way they always have lived for thousands of years. They don't talk about them. They talk about these Africans who basically live like Europeans. That's who they connected with. But that's not natural. That's what these Africans learned from their colonizer. That's not them natural. They living like Europeans. When you go to or see those African cities, are those cities built upon ancient African architecture, or are they look like you visited Paris or somewhere, London, some damn where? They're Africans, but they've been conquered. And that's who you gravitate towards. You don't gravitate towards those who still for real carry and practice their tradition that's been going on for the last 1,000 years. They don't ever talk about those kind. So, in a nutshell, we keep it real here. We look at it from the east, west, north side. We look at all angles. And see, majority of our people, we get emotional and we only go so far. And you only go so far because if you keep pushing it, then you see the reality of it. And then you're not so happy as you thought you was, because now you see the reality of things. It's easy to talk about things and have a laugh or whatever. But it's much, much different when you see things in its reality. The full picture. So it has nothing to be what you bring to our platform. I'm not a hater. I'm not jealous. I'm just looking at our situation, the full view. I'm looking at every angle. And you don't want to see every angle. Because the reason why you don't want to see every angle is because you don't have an answer for it. Well, what do we do? But sooner or later, you got to deal with the reality. You're going to have to deal with that angle. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. Like death. We can't avoid death. You can drink all the green juice you want to. You can jog. And you can do whatever you think that you need to do to try to stay healthy. And death said, oh, you did all that? Woo. You got people that's supposed to be healthy drop dead every day. What happened to Floyd? He run every day. He drink green juice, and he eat that sea moss and burn incense, and he believe in Buddha. He do his chakra chants, and he got the third eye. He dropped dead. That's a reality. Death don't care if you're rich, you're poor, you're black and white. If you got a chakra, you don't have a chakra. Young, old, you got a dog in the house, don't have a dog in the house. If you drive a car, if you ride the bus, that don't care. When it's your time to go, it's time to go.
And brother Myth Detector, that's why I don't see why people are so arrogant. Because whatever you build, whatever you do, is only for a certain period of time. And none of it, you can't take none of it with you. None of it. All the Grammy Awards Michael Jackson won, all the thousands of fans that he had, couldn't take none of that with him. None of it. So, what is the purpose of all this stuff? We trying to get things, trying to show off in front of folks and blah, blah. For what? And what killed me about rich folks, people that's trying to get generational wealth. Oh, we need to get generational wealth. You do all that to get all this wealth, and your children come behind you and blow all of it. Because that's what's going to happen to a lot of us. Because I know when I was growing up, see, nobody gave me nothing. Nobody left, they died, nobody left me nothing. But I've seen people leave land and cars and houses to people. And they blew all of it. They let the house, I seen a beautiful house just go to hell. Now it's torn down. It was a man, Mr. Van Buren, left a big orchard, had peaches, apples, all kinds of stuff. The house is gone. They done stole all the bricks. All the apple trees and peach trees is dead. His generation, his people that he left on it, didn't do a damn thing. So you can do that for your generation, but that don't mean your generation gonna do anything for you. And you dead, you'll never know that they blew all your crap. Everything, all your work that you did went to hell. That's why we need to stop doing that. And it's better for us to teach our children and our people to stand on their own. Get my own. I don't need to inherit your money. I can get my own and stand on my own. Because this generational wealth thing is not no guarantee to success. And generational wealth, rich people, what kind of children do they produce? A bunch of privileged, lazy ass folks. It even got to the point in some rich communities, because they privileged and don't have nothing else to do, they sit around, well, we got everything, we done everything. What is it that we can do? Why don't we go around and kill people? That would be exciting. And some of these young people they go out and murder folks. They don't have, because I don't have nothing else to, I don't have nothing to do. I had to strive for nothing. Everything was given to me on a platter. I don't have nothing to do. I done ran out of things. But I ain't never killed nobody before. I wonder how that feel like. I saw a story where a group of these rich children got together, plot to kill people. Don't have nothing else to do. Like, wow. It's a lot of things that we need to think of, and that's a wonderful thing. See, that's the wonderful thing about bringing different people together, because I don't know it all. The myth detector don't know it all. We don't know it all. That's the wonderful thing about bringing people together, so we can begin to try to see all the different angles. And see, our problem is a lot of us, we don't like certain angles because we have this story, this narrative that we sold ourselves. And the reality of things interferes with that angle. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, well, when it's all said and done, you're going to suffer for ignoring it. Because it's like death. You're going to have to deal with it sooner or later. You can run, but you can't hide. And on that note, I think we talked enough. And Brother Myth Detector, if you want to have any closing remarks.
Oh no, that was it. I believe we covered everything. I just want to go over what I said in the beginning, because I feel like the audio was bad in the beginning, and we talked about just about everything. It's been a good session.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. Actually, my Facebook got a lot of action on it for the first time in a long time. So I want to send a shout out to my Facebook people in the chat room on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Into my yeah.
I was gonna say, what is your Facebook? You can text it to me, or you can say it now.
Well, I have my personal, Taalik Ibn'rad on Facebook. That's me. Or I also have Lauren Ray on Facebook. Actually, I have a few Facebook channels, but that's the ones I'm using right now. But I simulcast on the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's me on Facebook. And we also simulcasting. We have an audience on Angel Snubbed Up 7. Of course, we have our people here. I want to thank everybody for joining us on this spontaneous broadcast. It's always an honor that you would join us, because you could be doing something else, but you decided to give us a few minutes of your time, and I'm very appreciative of that. It's always an honor, and I'm probably the only platform where I say I don't know it all. I'm probably the only platform where I say I could be wrong. You don't hear other platforms say that. Whatever they tell you, it's right. We got the facts. We got the information. And they do. But the problem is they don't go all the way. They won't go and look at all the sides. They won't do that. They only go, the Christian church only gonna go enough to support Jesus Christ. The Nation of Islam is only gonna go far enough to support what they talk about when it comes to Master Farad Muhammad, and so forth and so forth. They're not gonna go all the way, because if they go all the way, it's going to distort, it's going to interrupt the narrative that they're trying to sell. And I'm not trying to sell no narrative. I'm not trying to convert nobody to nothing. We're here to see things exactly as they are. Accept reality, my friend. It's much easier. That's why I don't have to run around here trying to figure out and try to make up answers and stuff. I can also say, I don't know. You never hear them say that. I can say, I don't know. But they always gotta, because they do know, they always trying to make up. And then we question them about what the answer that they gave to you. They want to get angry at you because you asked them the question. You the one said that you know. But then when you are questioned and really interrogated, we find out that you really don't know. No, that was the answer. That answer was good enough for you. It ain't good enough for me. And it might not be good enough for a lot of folks. So, I got my brother, I think his name, J26, Gennaro 26. He says we are the original Hebrews in scriptures. You know something? You need to come here and prove that. You need to come here. If we are the original Hebrews in scriptures, you need to come here and prove that. We had a brother on here. He did an excellent job. I think he was a Hebrew Israelite. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what, he's not a Moor. I think he was a Hebrew Israelite. He did an excellent job. But he did not prove that we are the Hebrews in scripture. I would like for you to come here. You're not an expert. But you say that we are the Hebrews in scripture. Well, if you can prove it, we need to set it up, and you come here and you can prove it to us. I would like to see that. And don't cry now, because we have the right to ask questions after. You can talk an hour or whatever you feel like you need to do. You know, it's reasonable. And prove, bring your documents, however you want to bring it. And we're going to question you. So however you can prove it. However you want to prove, however you want to do it. You said that, you know what, just come here, we set it up, and you prove that we are the Hebrews and in Scripture. So, you know, so you set it up. Now the thing about it is, he's not going to set it up. He's not gonna come. You're not gonna come. He's not gonna come, you know, because saying one thing and proving one thing is two different things. I'd rather say I don't know. But what I do know, I stand on. Yes, sir.
I notice a lot of people on Facebook, they like to make comments and run. They'll go all day back and forth with you on comments. But when it comes times to debate live on a video or something, they won't do it.
No.
They'll only go back and forth on comments.
Yeah.
The minute you ask them, hey, let's come debate it live, they'll leave you alone like magic. They'll leave you alone.
Yeah, they'll leave you alone. You know. So I'm very sure. Well, Gennaro 226 said that if I am proven wrong, I can accept that as well. I know they don't. We prove people wrong and in error all the time. They don't accept. They just keep believing. I don't think that you will. I really don't. They don't. And that's why I really don't like to argue and debate with people, because most of folks, whatever they believe, they're gonna believe. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter what you show, they just gonna believe. So what's the sense of me wasting my time trying to convince you or whatever? Because you really don't want to know. First of all, Gennaro, if you ever do come here, I want you to show how did we, if we are in Scripture, how did we get from that foreign land over here? And how do you know that's us? You got a lot of questions you got to answer. Brother MD is in the house on our Angel Snub 7. He said, Taalik, your guest said we were racially different from Africans. Ask him how. Did you get that, myth detector?
I just explained to you how racially different from. If you take a DNA test on an African American, we've been here for hundreds of years mixing with white people. On all of our DNA tests, it will say that we are at least 15% European. Africans' DNA tests, they are not 15% European. They are 0% European.
Yeah.
Our genetic makeup, because we've been here hundreds of years mixing with white people, we are at least 15% European. That'll show up on all of our DNA tests. So no, we are not genetically the same as African. We are about maybe 70, 80%, but not 100%.
And this is another problem. Gennaro says that we were brought here as slaves. We were not brought here as slaves. We were created. We were made genetically here because of the practice of slavery. We didn't come here on no boat. The original breeding stock, like Kunta Kinte, somebody like that, which Kunta Kinte was not the original breeding stock. Kunta Kinte was brought over here hundreds of years after all this got into process. The original breeding stock came as slaves. And remember,
yes, I got a video.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but I got a video on my page of audio slave narratives. You know, like of people who were slaves, and before they died, they had a chance to talk about it on audio tapes. A man says when he was a child and they took him over here from Liberia, it was colored people on the ship who was trying to throw other Africans overboard. Not white people, but colored people on the ships. Those are people, black people who had already been here in America before he came. Which is like you said, they started bringing blacks over here on, I think, like the 1600s.
Yeah. And
they didn't stop until the 1800s. So, you had a breed of black people that had already been here for generations. And some of them were going to Africa, helping the Europeans bring other Africans over here. And he's on audio tape saying that.
Mm-hmm. Gennaro says, how did most black people end up in the United States?
Same way white people did, on the ship.
Exactly. And see, this is another thing that we have to take in consideration. Because remember, all this is under their European racial classification. The people that was already here, they didn't come from Africa. They classified them as black. They classified them as Negro. They classified them as colored. You cannot take that out of the equation. They didn't come from Africa. They was already here. You can go and look at the old drawings that the Europeans done, and the Native American people that was here, they was just as dark, and they even dressed and acted and looked like Africans that was already here. He said, how did we get here in the millions? They was already here. Many of them was already here. And when they didn't, we didn't come by the millions. The Native American, the black Indians was already here.
We have some of that. You have some of the black Indians was already here, and also most of our population comes from, I feel like, from according to my research.
Yeah.
They had mass breeding farms.
Right.
Once they cut off the slave trade and they can no longer import slaves from overseas, they created mass breeding farms for us. Every woman would pop out at least about like 6-8 babies, every woman. Mm-hmm. And it became a population boom from that. You got a story of a man from Brazil who was a slave who was said to have fathered over 1,000 children.
Yeah.
He was a breeder.
Yeah.
He called them a breeder.
Yeah. Yeah, so, we don't know what tribes, we don't know where a lot of these people come from. When you out there getting slaves or whatever, nobody don't care where you come from. You are just something that they want, they grab you. There ain't nobody tripping off what tribe you come from. They didn't keep up records. They didn't give a damn about what tribes and stuff that you come from. Only thing they saw, it's just like when people go out and hunt deer. They don't run around, I wonder what family of deer I got this deer. They don't give a damn about what family of deer this one come from. You a deer, I shot you in the head and take you to the slaughterhouse. They don't care, nobody caring about that. There were already tribes here. According to their records, there were over 700 different tribes. And you can go look that up in Google on the internet. It was about 600, 700 Native American tribes that they know of that was already here. We can barely name 10.
And those are just the ones that they know of. Like you said, we don't even know about the ones that used to be here that got wiped out.
Exactly. We don't know.
The ones that got wiped out. The ones that got wiped out through tribal war before we even got here.
Exactly. So we don't know. And for me, all that historical stuff is cool or whatever. That's nice to know or whatever. My concentration and my focus is, okay, that's nice. What we gonna do for our current situation? Because those people, whatever, are dead. What are we gonna do? We living. Now, if you want to die, it don't make no difference. But if you want to live, you're gonna have to take certain activities. You're gonna take certain actions to secure your life. But if you want to die, it don't make you have to do a damn thing. And there are those who want to die. Some suicidal, and some people aren't brave enough to do it on their own. They just put themselves in a position so somebody can knock them off, like suicide by cop. You just go out there, you know damn well if you pull a gun on a cop, he gonna blow you away. You didn't have the nerve to shoot yourself in the head, let a cop do it. And some people, that's how they do. That's how they roll. Hell, you can do that to one of these Negroes on the street. They'll blow you away. Man, I had to put that nigga down. Yeah, but now you in jail, sir, or whatever. And this person wanted you to kill him. Suicide by Negro. But I'm looking forward. Gennaro have all this talk. Gennaro, just send the information. Let me know that you serious about coming and showing us how that we are the Hebrews in scriptures. And we set it up. You give us your talk, because I'm always open to teach. I'm not a know-it-all. Folks can teach me. I learned a lot yesterday, so I can't say. So I'm open to being taught. I'm not no big head, because I know I don't know it all. But what I think that I know, I'm going to stand on it until you can logically prove to me that that's not good to go. That's not whatever. But see, the thing about the Mississippi campaign is you never tried it, so you don't know. Why don't you try it? Let's see. Now, some of you don't want it. You would join the effort just to try, just to see it fail, because you're a failure. Because we know what these other things have done. They have not worked. And we look stupid to continue to do that. It's like trying to put a round peg, a square peg in a round hole. It don't fit. I've seen children do it. Little boy playing with he got the square peg no baby, that's not gonna never work. And get away from me. He's steady pounding, it's not gonna work. And that's what we look like. So you wasting your energy, wasting your time. But he feel good. I'm gonna make this work. It's not gonna work. And if you want to do that, and let time, because see, time not gonna wait on you. You're gonna be in a position at the point of no return, and you're gonna get exactly what you asked for. Like you in a car. When you get in a skid in a car and you don't take appropriate action, then you're gonna mess around and run off the road. You only got a certain period of time to get that car under control. And you got to do it properly to get it under control. If you miss that time, you're done. Now, if y'all want to keep driving and screwing around and all this feel-good talking, pretty soon it's going to get to the point you're done. You don't want to hear that, because this stuff that they selling you got all the time in the world to get it right. Do what you... That's not how life works, baby. Life don't work that way. When you waiting on a bus and that bus is there at 7:15, you don't get there till 7:30, that bus been gone. That's real life. Now, sometimes the bus driver might see you, whatever, and stop and let you on. A lot of bus drivers, because they on a schedule, you got to catch the next bus and go on about their business. And see, this is y'all problem. You think that you got all the time in the world screwing around because it make you feel, well, keep doing that. I understand that all stories don't have a good ending, so I can accept that. Oh, well, I done my best. Myth Detector, Brother Common Sense, we on this platform, we've done our best to try to, they don't want, hey, oh, well. But see, I don't care. I don't have no children in the future. You are dooming your babies because you are a liar claiming that you care about their future. You're a liar. And I hope if they survive, I hope they curse you forever in time for ruining their life, because that's what you have done. Shout out to Brother Denzel in the chat room on Angel Snuffed Up 7. I mean, we really, for me, this is a full house, because I got folks in Facebook, here, Angel Snuffed Up 7. I'm doing good. We done good today, Myth Detector. We done good. Share and subscribe. If you want to open up a channel and you want to copy all our videos and make your own Angel Snuffing Up stuff, please do that. Share and subscribe. You know, we need to get folks to talking logically with common sense, being analytical. Let's dispel the myths. And we'll be on our way. We'll be on our way. Shout out to Brother Talib. Brother Talib is in the house on Angel Snuffing Up 7. Shout out to Brother Talib in the house. Got to recognize him. He says, greetings. What a wonderful day in hell. The forecast of the future. Hey, it's our choice. Like I made a choice. I made a bad choice. And I end up in the crazy house for 10 years. You know, hey, I can only blame myself, really. And I was in denial for a long time. But I have to put a lot of that blame on myself. You know, we have to suffer the consequences of the choices that we make. That's just the reality of it. So with that said, or on that note, I thank the brother Myth Detector for joining us on this spontaneous broadcast. Shout out to all those on Angel Snuffing Up 7 YouTube channel. Those on my Facebook. Of course, those in my chat room. All those who listen and support this platform. I appreciate it. It's always an honor. And again, before we get out here, Myth Detector, did you have any closing remarks?
No, that's it. That's
okay.
It. I think we covered everything.
Okay. So with that said, we're going to get out of here, y'all. And as important, our ancestor Dr. Cornelius used to always say, I wish you love, peace, and soul. And we are Audi 5000.